Area 51. I need this.
Why?
People.
Okay.
Let me give you the political reason why.
No. Before you give me the
political
reason why.
You have a political reason why this should happen.
Yes. Check this out. Listen, and y'all gonna trip.
Wait a minute. Before you give me a political reason why, tell me how the hell we got here at least, because this is where I'm confused at.
Yeah, I want to know where it came from.
The death of Harambe.
Shut up.
Are you serious?
It was
like, don't play with me, because I'm like,
it was the butterfly effect. One thing led to another. One meme to another.
Death of her. It started with Harambe, and then they went looking for his body. It's like, hey man, he never had a funeral. And then suspects like, you know what, dog, that could make sense. All right, but real talk, where did this come from?
It started off from a meme from a dude who cannot run Naruto style to save his life, which is fine because it's meant for the anime and not real life people.
Right.
But I'm truly excited because when Caucasian people get together and break into federal buildings, they usually come out with great info, such as the FBI review board group commission. I forgot their exact name. They broke into a federal building, and they're the only reason why we know about COINTELPRO and the takedown of the Black Panther Party and assassination attempts and trying to force suicide attempts on Martin Luther King. That was because a crazy group of white people broke into a government facility and stole documents.
But let's look at the other side of that. Cliven Bundy and his group, they went into a federal building to talk about how Black people got too much right now and what we can do to take away from them.
That is true. But with the knowledge that we got better ground to stand on. So imagine what we could pull from these crazy folks. Because if you're crazy enough to do it, I'm crazy enough to watch.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch.
Oh, I'm going to watch. I can't wait for the live streams that are going to come September 20th.
I'm waiting for the lives, bro.
Oh, it's going to be glorious. Real talk, what did they say? So far, it's like 1 million people signed up. I think a strong 1,000 people are going to show up, and that's just enough to cause chaos.
But here's the thing, though. First and foremost, our government, ran by 45, who I strongly believe is an alien, has already said that he plans on making sure that particular government facility is well protected.
What did Lord Farquaad say? Some of you may die, but that is a risk I'm willing to take.
But because the U.S. Air Force, no, real talk, the U.S. Air Force had actually issued a real warning saying, if y'all come here, y'all might not make it out alive. And we ain't talking about true. Inside. So it's one of them, like, I don't want people who think they're just having a little fun in today's social media to die over a raid joke.
Yeah, because people show was eating Tide Pods.
Yeah. See, and I can't even say niggas because it was so many regular people saying this dumb stuff that irritated my soul. So,
when is this supposed to happen?
September 20th.
Oh Lord, the day after my birthday.
Ah, see, you're the chosen one.
Great birthday gift. It's you. You're the second coming. You're what we're waiting for.
Flags will be raised in your honor.
But
only if somebody brings me a predator. But I want it to be little, so it has to just be hatching so it can see me first and think I'm its mother and never kill me.
Understandable.
All right, but here's the thing, though. Like, as much of ignorancy as this, and I'm not gonna lie, we all grew up always hearing about Area 51 and the aliens and all the government things that's going on. They even incorporated in movies. Like, if I'm not mistaken, if you were to go on Google Maps and try to go over the area of Nevada where this is located at, it's completely blacked out. Yeah. So there's definitely tons and tons of mystery that goes on behind this situation. But the best thing about this is the memes.
Yes.
I don't care what you say, where you're from. The memes are the best. And the memes people are not just only regular everyday people making memes. We have celebrities that have chimed in on it. I don't know what the hell is wrong with Chris Hemsworth, but all I know is dog posted a meme like Thor talking about he's ready to go in and smack some cheeks of aliens, and Chuck Norris got in on it, and Robert Downey Jr. and Scooby-Doo, and like it was. And that was the best one to me. It was like, you know what? This does seem like a job for the Scooby gang.
You know what, man? The part that scares me the most is the alien cheek clapping community.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never seen so many people eagerly talk about how they're going to rape something.
Right. Like I've even seen one meme where it's the dad from Rick and Morty. And it shows dog standing there with a 3-breasted alien talking about me introducing my alien girlfriends to my family after I get back from Area 51.
I could see that from Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry would legit wife up an alien. He deserves it, all the trouble he's been through.
Yes.
He's just an idiot.
I'm just saying, if I find out that there's Halo-style weapons at Area 51, I'm gonna be pissed I didn't get to go.
That's okay. That's another thing too. Let's take it on a positive note, because I truly believe this is either gonna be one of the funniest moments ever or an absolute catastrophe, because they legit gonna take off on all these American civilians. What if though? What if they hit the cool button and they like, you know what? Welcome. All the people who showed up, they walk them in, take their phones, and show them to the visitor center, and then sends everybody on their way. And I would be low-key mad that I wasn't there.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. What if this is the actual moment when that we are not the only peoples here in this world? Like, this universe is vast. Right? And I would be mad if I wasn't there if this was a real thing. But you know what would really piss me off, Baron, and you'll get this joke? If I showed up at Area 51 and over in the corner is Zer selling items and I don't have enough shards.
Ooh, bro, like, what? Hey, see, now I'm even more hyped. What if this is that turning point in humanity, man?
What is this? What if this is the fall of Reach?
What if Captain Marvel is there?
Ooh.
Interesting. So all this whole time.
What if Area 51 is S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Okay. Ooh, let's do this one better. What if, let's say, the actual million people show up, right?
Right.
They get blinky blinked from, the Men in Black thing, the nebulizer. They don't know who they are. They all get escorted inside, and all the Skrulls replace them and come back to the world. And we have our secret invasion, and it'll be our own damn fault.
See, that would be
crazy.
Damn. No lie though, to open up our world's eyes to the great beyond, it's worth it.
You saying you'll take that L?
Let's take the L.
Okay. All right. Final thing. What if Area 51 has really been a portal to Prometheus?
Ooh. I'm not down now.
You're not down?
Are we talking Prometheus like Alien Prometheus?
We're talking Alien Prometheus. So we find out the origin of man. The reason why Area 51 has been a secret, because if we actually show the world the portal that tells you where humans really came from, all this religion shit would mean nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So you would send the whole world into chaos. You would throw chaos into the world. So now they have to keep it a secret all this time. And now, because of this invasion, we get, it would be the Stargate? It would be the Stargate in this case, wouldn't it?
It would be. Yeah. It would be Stargate. Yeah.
God damn, how did we just connect so many movies and video games to one?
Well, what do they say, man? Life is stranger than fiction, bro. What if it is crazy?
Speaking of Life is Strange, dope ass game. Make sure you pick it up. Play the prequel if you can. Cheap plug. I'm just waiting on Left 4 Dead 2.
Ooh.
I mean, not Left 4 Dead, Last of Us 2. My bad.
I'm waiting on Dead Island 2.
Ugh.
Hey, they had a great idea. It was poorly executed.
You know what?
Then they gave us Last of Us to make up for it, and I'm okay with that.
I'm definitely okay. Last of Us is that game that's so good you can't play it twice.
Thank you.
Because you don't want to cry.
Not that. It was just like
it's an experience.
Yes,
it's an experience. It's like reading the book from Never Ending Story. Like, bro, you enjoyed the adventure so much the first time. It played with every single emotion that you're not mentally prepared to go back to it.
Can't do it twice.
And if you do, it's not the same.
Yep. No lie. You know what movie did that to me? Was Superbad. Superbad to me was so funny that I couldn't enjoy it the same way the first time. Or the next time.
So a lot of movies are like that. And speaking of movies, this takes us to our main topic for tonight. Finally, people, everybody here in the squad has finally seen the Spider-Man movie. Some of us went on opening night. Some of us went on $5 Tuesdays. Some of us went whenever we had opportunity because we all super busy. But we finally all seen the new Spider-Man 2.3 because it's like the third time we've had a Spider-Man 2. It is. All right. So before we dive into talking about Spider-Man and whatnot, I'm going to start off with everybody's rating on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you rate this movie? Let's start with you, Renee.
I would give it a 7.
Okay. What about you, Baron?
I give it an 8.
Give it an 8. All right, I'm probably gonna go outside my normal box, and I would give it an 8.5. But I'll give you guys my reason why I give it an 8.5 later. So Renee, let's start with you. You gave us the lowest score. What's your likes and dislikes about it? Because I know you got a major one.
I do. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna come out the gate with it, guys. I love Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. Peter Parker is that dude. However, the Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire, it was okay for its time. In this time right now, movie-wise, there's only been one Spider-Man who has given us a complete shot-for-shot remake of an actual Spider-Man canon, and that's Andrew Garfield, because his storyline was Spider-Man Blue, okay? And that movie, his 2 movies that he did, everything was directly from canon, and even down to the outfits. And see, the thing that I love so much about Spider-Man Blue is that it reinforces that the hero cannot have the great life.
Okay. Go ahead, Baron.
That's the only reason I didn't give this a perfect. What I hate is that people crap on Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I've heard one excuse that he was too cool. No, as Peter Parker, he was cool, too cool of a character. Now, I truly enjoyed Garfield Spider-Man above all of them. I don't. Do y'all know why they retconned it? Why they rebooted it? Was it just he didn't fit with the?
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
The biggest, yeah, we can hear you. The biggest reason why they retconned it was, one, they needed to have a fresh, young Spidey to add to the MCU. Because if you think about it, Tobey and Garfield are kind of adults now.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really so if we were to continue in it, and the fact that those two had already established stories in the Sony universe, and they didn't want to piggyback off of anything that somebody else did. They wanted their own continuity to create, which I would have to say this, okay? Out the 3 Spider-Mans, I'm going to have to go against the grain and actually say this one is my favorite one. This is not my favorite Spider-Man in total. That belongs to Miles Morales' story. But if I got to go with live action, I have to go with this one. I have to go with Tom. And the reason why I have to go with Tom is, one, it's in-house, done by people who actually know the comic book story. Two, Toby did a damn good Peter Parker story.
True.
Horrible Spider-Man story, in my opinion. Yeah. Whereas Andrew did a damn good Spider-Man, not so good Peter Parker.
Oh, now, BS.
Like, okay. Hold on. But it gets an asterisk by it because, like you said, it's based off a completely different story that a lot of people don't know. You see?
Now,
they
let me
focused on Toby.
I'm just going to say that Spider-Man Blue is the only Spider-Man that, like, I was looking forward to, and I had to get each episode, each issue as it came out every month, you know?
Right.
Because it had me that enthralled into the story, and it's like what I was really kind of hard on, like, his Spider-Man number 2, because I was like, I know she's got to die, and they got to do the death scene right. If they don't, I'm gonna cry. But they did it, and I was like, wow.
And that scene right there, I'll give you that. That scene was necessary.
Yes.
If you know anything about the death of Gwen Stacy, that's the only fucking reason you're watching this movie.
Yep.
That's the only reason.
And that's the point I was going to get to, was the amount of hurt you saw on Andrew Garfield. It made it real. Like, you're not just out here having fun. Like, this is like, you're really putting the city on your back. Like,
true.
You're not just out here having a good time web slinging. It made it seem more taxing. It was more human.
Yeah.
Right. It was. But like I said, the biggest fault with the second one is the fact that nobody really knows the Gwen Stacy storyline like that. You see, everybody has always known Mary Jane. MJ has been the focal point of Spider-Man all the way up until that moment. Hell, even when they did, I think it was the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon, Gwen Stacy wasn't even a love interest. He was like a best friend.
Yeah.
So when people who don't know anything about Spider-Man comes to try to read more about Spider-Man, Mary Jane will always be the focal point. What I hated about the Tobey Maguire storyline, though, was they made it seem too much like MJ was his motivation for everything, and he couldn't balance the two. When in actuality, MJ was probably the most, resourceful out of anybody when it came to Dog doing what he needed to do, which is kind of why I kind of fuck with this new one. Now, I said this before with Homecoming, and I'm going to say it again with Far From Home. I don't like the fact that they snatched up Miles Morales' storyline and painted it with a nice white coat. Okay.
Yeah, I thought I was the only person who picked up on that. I was like,
no, I caught that ASAP, because I'm trying to figure, because at first I'm sitting there like, okay, where the fuck did this best friend come from?
Yeah, Ned is so unnecessary.
And don't get me wrong, Ned is so fucking perfect. So perfect. He's not necessary, but he's so perfect because in the beginning we were able to kind of create that teenage dialogue for Peter, so we didn't have to focus on MJ right away, or we didn't have to focus on Harry Osborn right away, because all they really did was took out Harry, added Ned, put the Miles Morales coat of paint on the back of it, and then says, here's your teenage story. That way, when we now introduce Tony Starks and make Tony the mentor for Peter, it's an easier transition. Because I have no problem with that. Now, I will say this. It was too much damn Iron Man 4 in my Spider-Man movie.
That's legit.
Facts.
That's legit, right? But
I still think that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that out of all of this, I still think that Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie was the best Spider-Man movie.
Ever. Oh yeah, hands down. It will always be. It
Yeah.
will always be. That's the Spider Universe I want.
Yep.
Because you gave me extra people without oversaturating these people.
Facts.
And let's just keep it real. As Black people, we could relate to that, living that life.
Yes.
We can relate to that whole scenario. The only person I couldn't relate to was Nicolas Cage, because I don't know nothing about Spider Noir, and y'all need to go ahead and just give me my Spider Noir movie.
Now, he's real big in those Secret Wars and What If canons, but
yeah, he's great. He's dope over there.
Up.
Now, when you actually go to the movie Far From Home, this was a little bit different than any standard Spider-Man movie that we've seen, because it actually, one, explained what apparently happened, answering tons of questions from us from Endgame. Because we actually, Baron, me and you did a show together one day where we talked about what the fuck happened to people during the snap.
It answered all those beautiful questions.
It answered every single question. So shout out to Marvel for trolling the internet to find shit to point out with. Now, one thing I will say, the movie actually threw me the hell off, because they opened up with a rendition of I Will Always Love You with all these people scrolling past. Now, my question is how in the fuck does the world know that Black Widow was dead?
Ooh.
She ain't come back.
That don't mean who says she's dead.
Who put the letter out?
She's somewhere sitting in another realm.
Who put the memo out? The only people who would have known anything that happened in regards to those people or anything that happened to them would have only been us as the viewers, with the exception of Tony, because, it was a whole big thing that Tony died. He died for the sins of the world. They made Tony Jesus.
Yes, they did. He even went out, arms out and everything.
They made him Jesus. I don't know how I feel about that. But the fact that after everything was done in this beautiful thing, it was a fucking high school morning announcement video.
Classic.
Now, I gotta give Marvel credit. That was some dope editing in regards to making the band disappear via Snapchat, only to make them come back via Facebook Live during a basketball game. Like, technology really improved like that over 5 years. But nobody's still making cell phones, bruh. During that 5 years, the world was depressed.
Nothing was going. Life stopped.
Nothing. Like, sanitation workers quit because apparently Scott Lang go to his house and you got abandoned cars on the side of the road like it's Mad
like
Max.
Division 2.
Right. Swear to God, it did.
It looked like legit.
It did. Like, now that you say that, Doug. But shout out to the rat for saving the world from Endgame.
Facts.
Because if it wasn't for the rat, the world would never have been saved. But
our true savior.
Yeah, he is our true savior. The low lives of the world are the ones that really save us all. We ended up, basically, if I'm not mistaken, they said that they just restarted school, right?
Yeah.
Like right where it left off. Yeah.
Well, I thought they made them do the whole semester over again.
You're right, because they were talking about having to take midterms over again. You're right.
Right. So start the whole semester over with. Whatever age you are at when you disappeared and when you came back, that's exactly where you were. So if you were a freshman in high school when you blipped, you're still a freshman in high school when you came back. You're just doing second semester. Meanwhile, if you were still here, you grew up, and they actually made that a part of the story, which I don't know how I felt about that, but I'm going to keep eyes on that because they made the little dude grow up. Now he's all grown and attractive. First of all, if he's still in high school through puberty, and I want bad hair, because ain't no way you went through 5 years of the division and you still came out handsome.
Like, you should have some struggle on your face.
You have no struggle on your face, especially because your brother was the one. Your brother blipped. Because I remember they said that. It's like, man, that's crazy, dude. I just, such and such disappeared. He come back. His younger brother is older than him. Man, whatever.
Like, his life got better. But he was a creep, though.
And that's the thing. Like, he was a creep. But Here's my issue with that whole creep thing. He's a very attractive Asian. I think he was Asian. Was he Asian?
He did look
okay.
He did look Asian.
Okay, let's just say he was Asian for the sake of conversation.
Got you.
He was attractive. MJ, not so much.
You know, they really trying to make her like the new pre-millennial girl who's just like super feminist and doesn't really care about anything.
Well, we have to, number one, remember that is not Mary Jane. That is Michelle Jones.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's their way of getting away with the MJ without affecting the white, redhead, stupid-ass chick who Peter's been lusting after for years, lives right next door, but won't give him the time of the day. You know, I've always hated that girl next door kind of concept.
Who hurt you?
That's a whole nother story. Nobody. Actually, I used to date the girls that live next door to me. So I just hate that concept that just because she lives next door and you've been checking her out, that she's supposed to instantly give you a chance.
From that angle. Got you.
I hate that. But, okay. So, come to find out, some odd reason, everybody has enough money to go on trips. I think Aunt May was... Everybody...
They get reparations before black people.
Ooh,
that's fucked up.
We gotta jump on that. Like, here's your pay for all the work you would have done based on this time frame to get. No, but I'm just saying, I could see it said just to get everybody back on their feet. Here you go.
I will. Now, me personally, because if I'm not mistaken, Aunt May was collecting money from people to help displace blips, as they called them. So I'm thinking all that money funded this trip, and Aunt May was pocketing some of it.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't just.
She white. She probably was.
I mean, she white. She a criminal, and she kicked it with Happy. Let's be real here.
I thought she was just, what was it? 2 down for the upstroke with with Happy. I thought she was just getting broke off.
Something. I don't know, something Happy. They got a thing. They was a fling. It was a fling. Because Aunt May clearly said they were a fling, and Happy thought they were. So we go together. Like, hold on, nigga, you got the draws when I was lonely, but we ain't together. That's how I felt.
Half the population is back now.
Right. Like, my real dick is back now. But see, here's another thing, though. She got blipped, though. Because in her speech about when she was getting the money, she said she came back in the same apartment she lived in. It was already rented out to somebody that the wife thought that she was the mistress and the grandma thought she was a ghost.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that made me think about, how we're talking about like what happens when you come back from the blip. So there's some people died twice. Because if you come back to the exact moment where you were, if I'm not mistaken, a chopper fell from the sky before Nick Fury disappeared. So that means that there was 2 people in that chopper. They reappeared in the sky. There was tons of people flying.
I need a whole episode of 1,000 Ways to Die just based on blipping back into existence.
We'll make it.
Is that still a show?
No, but it needs to be now.
It needs to be back.
No,
it's all based on the blip.
That all the time.
Who didn't? You had to. It was just funny for no reason.
The dude got
seeing how people that killed themselves. No, the chick who died by fishing. She went to fish. She went to yank the fish back in. The fish came back and flew into her mouth and choked her to death.
Oh, that man! Wow.
All right, so we get that. Now, at this point in time, because if you remember at the end of the first Spider-Man, at Homecoming, Aunt May knows he's Peter Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is doing a special appearance. They're in the back doing their normal talk, and he's still wearing the Iron Spider suit. I'm okay with that because, well, shit, it's a dope-ass suit. Why would you not keep it? Well, it's a dope-ass fucking suit. Like, shit. You ain't got to do nothing. It just comes and it does whatever you want to do and kills a bunch of people. So I'm going to wear it too. Fast forward, they're going on their trip. Before going on their trip, Nick Fury is trying to get a hold of Spider-Man. At this point in time, I'm sitting here wondering where the fuck the Avengers are. So, while we here, let's run down everybody and why the fuck is Nick Fury trying to recruit Spider-Man. We know Cap is old as hell.
Yep.
But he's fucking useless. All right, he's useless. Tony's dead. Vision's dead. Black Widow is dead. Hawkeye has mentally checked out. I mean, he didn't give you a big fuck you. Okay. Yeah. I didn't have to see my side chick die. My kids been disappeared for years. Like, I had to save the world because I had to go get this damn glove in this ship. I had to save other people. You know what? I'm going back to my farm with my family. Don't call me. Don't text me.
I'm gone.
I'm out. All right. Professor Hulk is like somebody you should call, but Hulk basically got his ass whooped to pacifism.
Yeah, he became a Buddhist real quick.
Like, I just want y'all to realize this. In the beginning of Infinity Wars, Thanos handed him a 2-piece and a biscuit, and he did not show back up for the rest of the movie. And then the next time we see him off camera, okay, this didn't even happen. This is the movie we needed. We didn't get off camera. Hulk had to come to the realization that maybe he's really not about this life. Thanos knocked some common sense into the Hulk. Literally.
I want to be gangster until it's time to do something gangster.
Okay.
He caught them super hands. How you catch them heavenly hands? Them outer. Now
here's the thing. Now, it pissed a lot of people off when it came to the power and leveling between Infinity Wars and Endgame. But let's just go to the basic realization that Thanos hands out 2 pieces of biscuits without any ketchup or syrup, because he didn't have none of the Infinity Stones in his possession when he did this.
Just mixed him up real quick.
Okay. So we definitely couldn't rely on this nigga. He out here in Shangri-La with Iron Fist getting his chi on and shit. So he's useless. All right. So at this point in time, I can see Nick Fury's conflict. He ain't got nobody to go to anymore. Wanda is like still fucked up in the head. Let's be realistic. You lost your brother. You lost the only, I don't know if that was a man, but you lost something you loved. Okay.
It was something to ride.
What'd you say?
Facts.
Just something to ride. And, caught a couple feelings. It's all good, though. Happens to the best of us.
Hey. For all I know, you got to remember, Ultron made the body. So for all I know, he may not have gave him anything to work with.
Exactly.
Remember, it was supposed to be Ultron's body. So unless dog out here mind-bending penises, there was, don't know what was going on here. But she had to watch the man she loved die twice. So.
And technically, she's off starting the House of M.
Well, yeah, because WandaVision is going. To me, WandaVision should go to that. So we got Wanda over here dealing with her problem. She's probably going to have a psychiatric break in there.
We get to see the fight between her and Rachel Summers, which I am totally down for. But
we probably won't, because then that's so much. But I just want y'all to give me some of that story. You ain't got to give me all of it. Just give me some of it. All right. So we get there. We do. Wanda's out the picture. Bucky and Black Cap is off on adventures.
They're all doing Bucky stuff.
Bucky on adventures.
Sexually,
Black Cap is out there getting called the N-word
by his best friend.
He out there trying to save somebody. He's like, "Get your hands off."
We out here with Black Cap and Bucky being Lethal Weapon 5. Because that's all they can be is Lethal Weapon 5. So they completely off the grid. So they useless to me. So yeah, dog, he got to make a whole new team. So he had to go get Spidey. Fucked up Spidey. Now, I don't know.
About it though, guys. Like, as old as Bucky is, just imagine him. He's bringing him to like the VA. This is my colored friend.
Yeah, because all people tend to forget Bucky has to be even more racist than Cap was.
Yes.
Because even though Cap grew up in that time frame, you know, Cap was one of them, I love all my fellow man the same, even though you okay with saying nigger. Whereas when Bucky was hanging out with the Russians and the Germans. Okay.
Right.
Legit was running around Nazi Germany.
So he don't like nobody. So you got to worry about this. You worried about your best friend calling you a nigga and disrespecting you at the same time. So you got a problem, my guy.
Real talk. So let's say Steve Rogers, his dementia kicks in a little bit. How many times do you think he calls Cap the N-word?
I don't know. You got to remember, because we got old man Cap, Peggy probably got him in check by now. See, old man Cap grew up in seeing the change of the world, so he's, you know, more civilized. It wouldn't surprise me that somewhere in there they go visit Cap and there's a transposed photo of dog walking on the March of Washington with MLK or doing some shaking hands with JFK or something. Dog, they gonna make dog be like the greatest white man ever.
That didn't change nothing.
He couldn't. That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode. That, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. If you want to make a show for the Disney streaming service, make a show about when Cap was doing Cap shit.
A superhero quantum leap.
Yeah, did we talk about that? Was that you? I talked about that with Cap
him
is just out here jumping through bodies and being in fucked up situations. That's the quantum leap I want. Okay. That's the quantum leap show I need. Put it on the Disney streaming service. I will watch that shit every day.
How far do you think the Disney streaming service is going to go? Like, in terms of, because they've engulfed so much Fox, so much, you know what I mean? Like, how far is it going to reach, or is it going to be real tame?
First of all, has Disney ever been tamed about anything they do?
No.
Bro, no. Disney owns so much shit. They own shit that we don't even know Disney owns.
Facts.
Now, I will tell you this much, though. Disney is definitely going to be smart with it. They're going to give you everything that you want, but not everything you need. Okay? We're going to give you enough shows to cater to your kids, because let's be honest, that's the only reason. Disney is the last reason why cable television exists. If you pull cable television and Disney becomes solely just a streaming app, no one will buy cable anymore. They will kill it.
Facts.
That's what's keeping them alive. Okay? So once they're gone, it's a wrap. Okay? Now you have movies that are under the subsidiary of Disney for both children and adults. Then, because the Disney streaming app is probably going to fuck with Netflix, like we said before, it's going to put Netflix out of business, or at least drop it down to a point where they can't charge your ass $10 a month anymore. They're going to have to go down to $5 to survive.
Just to keep people
just keep people interested. Now you have all your Marvel products, which dominates the box office. They dominate. The movie can be shitty as hell, but everybody knows don't release your movie when a Disney movie is coming out.
Yep.
Big time.
That's how dangerous it is. Because Lion King came out this weekend, and that's all I know that came out.
Yeah, I don't know anything else. You're right.
Dumbo was trash, but nobody came out when Dumbo dropped. Now we got Black Ariel taking over the world. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with that. No, a couple of white people will protest, but that shit's still gonna smack box office.
It's gonna murder.
You seen the trailer, so white folks want to be mad at Ariel. The Asian community is gonna make it back up with Mulan, because Mulan looked like it's fire.
Yeah,
it really does. So, it looks like a dope war movie.
It do. It looked like the war movie we've been needing. but everybody's been too racistly scared to do it. Where Disney says, "Nigga, we made German war movies. We'll do anything. We don't give a fuck." Look, I feel like Disney is going to get to the point that they can experiment with whatever they want to do. We sit here and we crack jokes about all these different variations of stuff we want to do, but Disney has enough force and power to make it happen. I can sit here and say, I want a Captain American Quantum Leap TV show, and they'll go find somebody to play a new Captain America, and we will get a Quantum Leap show. Just because Disney can do it if they want to. And not only will they do it, people will watch it, people will love it, people will praise it. Disney can break the system if they want to. If they want to. But they're not going to, because they don't want us to know their true nefarious plans, that secretly Disney owns Area 51. And they just don't want to tell nobody.
Oh my God.
You see how I double back there? That was dope of me. But because Walt is still alive, people. He's not dead. He's at Area 51.
He's just cryogenically frozen. Let's keep it real.
Frozen? My nigga is from Prometheus.
The original, the chosen one.
That is why he was able to walk here and redefine history. This man made a racist ass movie and did not apologize for it.
And got a great Oscar.
Song of the South.
Song of the South.
Dumbo. You know, I wasn't allowed to watch Dumbo when I was little.
Because, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I sat down one day. I sat down and watched regular Dumbo one day. And not even the crows, but the overall animal cruelty in that movie. It is only an hour long. It's horrible.
Yeah, see, I wasn't allowed to watch it because my mama said, she's like, you ain't going to be watching them nigga birds. I was like, I don't understand what that means.
The crows.
Look. Look, okay. Do you remember the old magpies that used to come on TV? Heckle and Jekyll? Okay.
Yeah.
Take that. You basically had two carbon copies of Heckle and Jekyll. Okay, no, even better. Take Heckle and Jekyll and the Good Feathers from Tiny Toons and put them together. But make the leader of the Heckle and Jekylls a crow named Jim.
Not Jim Crow.
That's how blatant it was. That's how blatant it was. Yeah. But yeah, Walt never apologized for any of the racism he's ever put out there.
The little pickaninny black girl catering to the white female centaurs.
Facts. But it's not, but at the same time, it's not Walt's fault either, because it's where he grew up with, and this is what was norm. He catered to what was normal. Now we go back and look at it. Yeah, there's a lot of Disney movies that have to be remade because you can't do that. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, if you try to go and buy the original Dumbo movie over again, the crow scene has been removed. Mm-hmm. Just like if you go back and buy the original Lion King, the Sex in the Sky scene has been removed.
And they took out the pickaninny girl in Fantasia.
Yeah, so unfortunately, black people, I own all the original stuff in Disney in digital format, so I have all the niggerdom, all of it, in its glory. And I will make my kids watch it and explain.
Education is key.
Yeah, can't forget where you came from and how people look at you. But that's a whole nother story. All right, so the whole movie of Far From Home basically dealt of a European road trip of a bunch of kids being low-key funded by Nick Fury as a guy with a fishbowl on his head ran around and destroyed the mystical beings called the Elementals. Now, they threw so many fucking comic book stories into one movie that it almost broke my head. I have not seen a big bunch of debauchery since watching All-Star Superman. Actually, no, since watching Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Because Man of Steel had like 5 different Superman stories going on at one time.
But they did it as a montage before he became Superman. Like, oh, he's pulling the ship and he's doing this, that, and the other.
So I was cool with that. But this one, it's almost been like 3 weeks, people. So spoiler alert, because we're going to tell the goddamn movie anyway. We come to find out that Mysterio, which he got his name because of the French pronunciation of Man of Mystery. Fucking, I didn't need to know that, people. Just fucking call him Mysterio.
Super extra.
Was a fake. He took some dope-ass technology that I honestly feel was misused by not only Tony, but by Jake Gyllenhaal's character at the same time. Because I don't know about you, but let me get that technology and watch me reinvent the movie theater. Watch me change the movie industry with something like that. Bro,
could you imagine horror movies in that?
Bro, could you imagine a fucking horror house?
Ooh.
You'd have to get people to sign waivers.
Oh, people dying.
No, it's the dopest. It's gonna be the dopest. Because if you take off the bullet firing capability and just only did the destruction that the robots did, you would still have an awesome experience. And remember, all of that you've seen was all image projections from the robots, creating the structural damage to make you feel like you're in that. Dude, that is a theme park within itself. Like that, you can let Disney have a section of its theme park. Like, let Universal Studios in the fucking world of wizardry with Harry Potter have some shit like that. Take all my money.
Hey, because you know what? No lie. I don't think I told you, but we went to a VR, like they had a VR facility or whatever. And myself, I've never squealed or screamed so hard in my life. They was laughing at me. They put me in a zombie apocalypse survival situation, and I did not survive. I didn't do well. I'm not built for that. All the crap talking I had, all that. Oh, I would. When you got zombies busting through like store shelves and crawling under stuff and opening doors or blasting through doors coming at you full speed, all talk goes out the window.
Facts. So imagine you now physically, not VR experiencing that, but physically having an immersion. You're now in like 4D. Not 3D anymore. You're in a 4D environment now where everything around you interacts with you. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When Mysterio and Spidey had that moment when he thought he was with Nick Fury, and
Bro,
that was dope. That was probably the dopest thing about this movie. That's kind of up there with Doctor Strange when it came to CGI. That was dope. Now,
I really didn't like how long it took them to get to the fact that Mysterio was a bad guy, because I thought that they were gonna make him like a joke, kind of like the Mandarin, like they did in Iron Man. Because it's like, you don't do that to the Mandarin. You don't, and you can't mention the Mandarin without even going towards the 10 Rings. So that was my big thing. I was like, man, I know this dude's, and I know they're not trying to make this dude a good guy.
Well, and I think that's where I'm going to have to go against you on that. Was I like the fact that I knew Mysterio was a bad guy. I didn't know how you were going to unveil him being a bad guy. Because let's be honest, they tricked us with the multiverse.
Yeah.
To start off with.
They worked this over.
So I'm thinking the whole, let me stop the elementals because they destroyed my world thing was going to play into him trying to take over our world because the elementals were really good guys trying to destroy his reign. That was my thought, thinking the old bad guy from another world kind of a thing. But in actuality, and it was kind of a joke, for him to just been a bunch of people that got fired by Tony.
It was, you know what? It was what we talked about last time, Tone. It was a pleasant surprise.
It was, but like I said when we first started, you had too much Iron Man 4 in my Spider-Man. Because if you took Peter out the story, minus it being a little creepy, put Tony in that story, you got Iron Man 4.
They even had the music. They even let him build his suit like he was Iron Man. That was strange. I totally blanked on that.
Yeah, like it was Iron Man 4. They was like, oh, Robert Downey Jr., you don't want to be Tony Stark anymore? Hold my beer. We got this. And we still got him. We seen Iron Man all over the place on murals. Like, he truly affected the world. Like, did we not forget that about maybe 8 years ago, this nigga was selling weapons of mass destructions?
Hey, we don't talk about that no more, man.
Like, we just gonna forget about that. Are we gonna forget about that? He made a robot that created the Sokovia event because he made in the MCU. He made Ultron.
Yeah, 100%.
So we gonna forget about that, which I don't understand why Tony made Ultron when Hank Pym is existing in the MC. I'm confused.
You gotta understand.
I think Hank Pym is right over there. Super late.
See, my husband tells me this all the time. These movies are not made for comic readers.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
And I get so frustrated. It's like it's not made for a comic reader.
Yeah, you have to look at the MCU as another multiverse. You have to look at it as a completely different planet where none of the other stuff that we know as smart comic people exist. Matter of fact, I think it even has its own planet, its own Earth number as well. Like, hold on. I think it does.
I love the fact that they nodded to 616. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, they did do that. They did 616 and they did somebody else's. Hold on, I'll tell you which one it is because I was looking at it.
Like my favorite verse, though. 616 got everybody.
Because that's where everybody began at. Yeah, because they said that we're 616, which tried to make it seem like the MCU is the comics, when it's not. Where is... Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up. Talk amongst yourself.
So my next question is with this, where's the next step?
Oh, let's close it out.
I think that they're actually setting the timelines right because technically Spider-Man is the first Avenger. It's not Captain Marvel. Okay, and for all my everything I know about comic books comes from Marvel movies. It's not Captain Marvel. Spider-Man is the first because he unites everybody.
All right. So before we go any further, in order for this, what you guys just said to make sense, let's close out the movie. All right. So of course, before it's all said and done, Peter defeats Mysterio, uses his stuff against him. MJ knows Peter is Spider-Man, and we have this moment of revelation for everybody. But the moment of revelation didn't really hit home until the end credits. So during the end credits, we found out two things. Okay? Thing number one was this whole time, Maria Hill and Nick Fury were the two Skrulls from the Captain Marvel movie.
I figured that, and let me tell you why. Because when Peter asks, can we call Captain Marvel? And Nick Fury's like, don't you even speak her name up? I was like, okay, that's Talos.
Well, I just thought that because what made me think it wasn't the Nick that we know and love was because he was not trying to even put forth an effort to reach out to any of the other Avengers. And I felt that he should have at least said, well, tried to go get a hold of this person and this person. Nobody answered. And then we would have been cool. But he didn't mention none of that. So I knew something had to been up. And
then he didn't even question Mysterio at all.
Right. That was the other thing. He didn't question nothing. Okay. Nick Fury is a black man in the MCU. He's not just any black man. He's motherfucking Sam Jackson. Okay?
Preach.
Motherfucking Sam Jackson does not let shit slide. He questions everything. And then motherfucking Sam Jackson in the Spider-Man movie was acting like motherfucking Sam Jackson. That's not Nick Fury. That bothered me. So, all right. And the second revelation was the return of Joe Jones Jameson.
Yes.
Played by the one.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
That was good.
That was dope.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
Joe Jonas Jameson, through the magic of Mysterio, revealed to the whole world that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. That broke Juan. Okay. Because Juan's not a comic book person at all. So he doesn't know that if the Civil Wars would have did what the fuck it was supposed to do, be an actual war, not a fight in the parking lot.
Bro.
Peter had already revealed that he was Spider-Man, which is how him and Tony got cool to begin with.
Because he saw
and how the Iron Spider suit even came to play. But getting back to what Renee said, yes, this now does start the MCU's true Avengers initiative. Because, let's be honest, Captain Marvel eventually does become the leader of the Avengers for other reasons than what the movie is trying to make it seem like it is. But once again, this is Earth 1999999. That's like 6 nines for no reason. So they can do whatever the hell they want over there. Okay. Do you know in this particular one, Fox's X-Men, the Fantastic Four films released before the 2022s, and all Spider-Man movies do not take place in this universe. So those movies do not exist here. So this Spider-Man that we have is the only Spider-Man that counts when you look at Earth 1 less than 2 million.
How lazy.
1 less than. All right. Well, shit, the X-Men from Days of Futures Past actually doesn't even have a number. They have letters for their Earth.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. So
that's kind of disrespectful, but you know.
Now, back to what you were saying, Renee. Back to what you were saying in regards to Spider-Man being the first Avenger. She's gonna get quiet on me. Yes. I said back to what you were saying. I said now back to you talking about what you were saying in regards to Spider-Man being the first Avenger.
Spider-Man is the first Avenger because he's the one who goes around and gets the team. Because everybody, before that, everybody's doing their own things in their own sections of their own cities. So even if you have your Hulk, he's doing his Professor Hulk thing. You got now are we talking comics or are we talking movies?
Let's roll with it. Whichever one blends perfectly for you.
Well, let's talk about the comics. You got everybody doing this, and then you see people don't understand that like the Avengers is kind of like a college. When you're going down to the Avengers building or whatever, they got different levels of Avengers, and they're sending people out, to do things that based on their skill level.
Right.
And Spider-Man is the dude who goes around and finds people. He's kind of like Charles Xavier without the "give me your children" thing.
So he's a recruit. He's a recruiting agent. So he's that dude who sits here and lies to you about your superpowers to get you to join the U.S. Army and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, wrong group of people."
You can be
sorry,
great.
Wrong group of people.
What happened? They discontinuing Camaros.
Oh, wow. That's terrible. Nobody was buying them anyway. Only old white men.
Single mothers buy Camaros with their income taxes.
Oh, wow.
Well.
Is it not true?
Yes.
Damn.
I work for social services. I hope not.
On to the Spider-Verse. Okay.
Hey, you know what? Now that you mention it, Aunt May, she did look like she came back from the snap and lost weight too. She definitely was living good. She was out here scamming. She was scamming.
She was out here living her best life.
She had Gucci flip flops on at the facility, bro. She was killing it.
All right. So now that we have an exposed Peter, what's the next for him? Because MJ knows who he is after doing all that figuring out. Everybody knows who he is. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. it was something in the movie that caught my attention, and I didn't catch it in Homecoming until I rewatched it. But the antagonist to Peter Parker's character is Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, in Far From Home, he openly said on a couple occasions how he looks up to Peter, how he looks up to Spider-Man, and how, Spider-Man has been his role model in the whole 9 yards. Now, I don't know how much of the comics that you guys follow when it comes to Agent Venom, but we all know Flash Thompson is Agent Venom. Mm-hmm. He actually he becomes Agent Venom after serving in the war.
Yep.
Now, I'm looking at the Flash Thompson here. I can honest to God see that happening. I can see him after seeing what Cap and them did and the impact it had overall, that now he's going to want to do something for his country. Now, I don't know, will he end up joining the military after his next big event, like big major event that happens in the MCU that will create either a whole new version of the Avengers, or he's just not going to live in his dad's shadows and his money anymore and join the military on his own, get his legs blowed off, and comes back and goes through depression. But I kind of seeing it's possible. See, because Fox wants to create this Venomverse. Or not Fox, Sony wants to create this Venomverse. Now, Sony has been really negotiating with Marvel to include their story arc of Venom as part of the MCU's continuity. So they're creating their own Venom storylines. So I can see with the way that Venom introduced the symbiotes and how there are multiple symbiotes here now, because Venom is with Eddie right now. But eventually he leaves Eddie and he goes to Flash when Flash loses his legs and he becomes Agent Venom. So do y'all think that that's something that could possibly pop up? Maybe not that way, but just in general in the MCU?
I hope that it does, because I really want Tom Hardy to be the next Wolverine.
I thought they announced that Taron Egerton, the dude from the Kingsman. The guy from the Kingsman.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, God.
Hold on now. Let's not knock that hustle. We all thought Ben Affleck was going to be a bad Batman, and we got something pretty good there.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Ben Affleck's Batman was for the comic reader.
So you think that's why it did bad?
Yeah, because, see, the thing is... No, seriously, I'm going to say this. I really do enjoy the DC cinema universe because it's true to canon and it's gritty. I don't want to see my superheroes, ooh, we kumbaya. Ooh, we're so great. We're great friends. Let's eat peanut butter and jelly together at the end of the day. No, fuck that. These are people. They have issues with each other and problems, and DC knows it.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I just hate the execution, because Batman versus Superman did not execute the hatred and then the love for each other very well. Okay? Now, I will tell you this. The DC universe can save itself if it just pulls the trigger on injustice. Just pull the trigger.
Yeah. Isn't there? It wasn't the Injustice universe where Clark landed and grew up with Bruce.
No, that's a different one. The
Injustice is after Lois dies.
Got it.
And she was pregnant.
Yes. And Soup snapped. He was like, you know what?
Yeah,
fucking sick of this shit. And he just took over. Like, pull the trigger on Injustice, and I guarantee you'll get your DC fans back. Because we are sick and tired of the Boy Scout.
Yep.
Superman and Captain Marvel suffers from the exact same problem. They're so OP that we have to dumb you down to make the movie realistic.
Yeah.
And we refuse to believe that that's possible. You're
Like
not going to sit here and tell. Yeah, go ahead.
That whole in-game team up was not necessary. Did you see the way she Marshawn lynched through everybody? She said, "Get your hands off me!"
Like, fam, we get it. You want to have this women's power movement going in the midst of everything. But it was so unnecessary. It was so fabricated.
Peter,
for no
you got
reason,
something for me?
So
they
now,
straight
y'all
went
hear
Pornhub and then went to NFL Marshawn Lynch in one line.
You want to know what's so funny about that last scene? So before Endgame came out, leaks started coming out about the movie because nobody knew what the direction was going besides time travel. We all kind of knew it was time travel. Of course, everybody was having their bets of who was going to die. Was it going to be Tony? Was it going to be Cap? Was it, shit like that, right? Nobody betted on Black Widow. You could have damn near won broke Vegas if you would have betted on her, but no one seen that coming. Like, you could have broke Vegas. But somebody must have gotten a hold of a page of the script. And they was like, "Oh my God, I hope this is not true. I'm going to read to you what was just said. This person who posted it is usually correct because they've been right about everything else with the MCU." And they literally read the scene of Peter getting the gauntlet and then giving it to Captain Marvel, but ending with Captain Marvel flying off. So everybody thought that Captain Marvel was going to be the one to take down Thanos. And it was like, "Oh my God, this would be horrible. You made us follow all this. Fuck this. Fuck her. Bree sucks." Like, people was outraged. It was like, and then when you get to the movie, you see that, dog, she was just getting the shit back to the truck. It was just it. You guys got freaked out about getting back to the truck, which I hate the MacGuffin of the truck, of having trying to get to the quantum realm. Like, y'all could have did something else.
I'm
terrible.
The one thing needed to save the universe was an old 60s van.
Astro van.
An Astro van. I don't know. There was a lot going on in Endgame. I liked the Infinity Wars way better than I liked it Endgame. Yeah. Like, way better. And it has nothing to do with Wakanda being the central point. I can actually care less about that part of it. It was just the way the story was written and how all the pieces finally came together.
There was more feeling in it.
Yeah, Endgame was very depressing. It was like, "Hey, well, I guess we got to put all these pieces back together again." Well, guess what, guys? Since we already beat Mario 1, we can just go ahead and warp to level 8 now by going to these places here. Ooh, magic flute. I'm tired of this magic flute. And that's what they did. That's all the Quantum Realm did. They went to specific points to make callbacks to the other movies to say, "Meanwhile, on the other side of town."
Oh, you know what? Did we talk about how cheap that was?
Like,
that was so cheap.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town. Oh, guess what? When the aliens invaded, Doctor Strange didn't exist, but the Sorcerer Supreme was doing something. So y'all just gonna depower the Sorcerer Supreme. Because she's strong enough to shut that whole shit down. Like, she's strong enough to shut that whole shit down. But you're telling me, meanwhile, on the other side of town, she didn't come save us because she was handing this nigga a stone.
No, because she was protecting one building. I mean, right. It was the one building, but one building.
Right. The building didn't matter during the war. Get to the main street where we need you the most at. Oh, okay. Then you got the best scene of the whole scene that didn't make no damn sense. You got Hawkeye and Black Widow up here just breaking the rules. Like, you got to sacrifice something you love. And fucking Red Skull was sitting over to the side floating like, "My nigga ain't got all that."
I've seen this before. Oh,
like, so you gonna jump, or who's going over the fucking ledge, my guy? You can't self-sacrifice and get the stone. You gotta be tossed.
Have you seen that Deadpool and Spider-Man meme?
Nah.
Where they had him reenact that scene, and he was like, "All right, Wade, you jump," and then he was like, "Did we get the stone?" Because he's down on the ground. He was like, "Yeah, we got it." He's like, "All right, come get me."
Bam. Oh, check this shit out. Dog, this would go so fucking differently if Deadpool was there.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because,
yeah,
like, first of all, it would have been comical. He definitely would have been fucking with Red Skull. Definitely been fucking with Red Skull. So, since you can break the self-sacrifice and whoever's there with Stone, he's going to jump off. He's dead. Because it takes him a while to get his bearings back to that. So he's dead. He officially should be able to get the damn stone, even if it's self-sacrifice, and he comes back alive. We have the stone, people. No one had to die. This is when you need a Wolverine.
Yeah, man.
Who is technically an Avenger.
He is. 5'3" Avenger, but, you know, we're not going to point that out.
Cigar toting.
But yes, they did a lot of cheating in regards to the movie. We also got a couple of rare, unique moments that didn't exist. Like when they went all the way back and Tony had that chance to talk to his dad when he got the stone from there. That was dope. I give him credit for that. That was needed. That's, I think, what actually let me know that Tony was going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He had the opportunity to have that conversation. Then after that, we had Cap, who actually ended up seeing Peggy, and we overheard Peggy talking about Captain Britain for the comic book fans who caught that. So That's something out there that we could possibly get one day. I'll be here for that. That's what I'm saying, dog. Even if you don't give us a quantum leap Cap, you can give us Cap worldwide, where Dog is just on secret missions all over the world. And then we get all these people that we don't normally interact with. Like, we can get our Alpha Flights. We can get our Captain Brit. We can get the Samurai Showdown, Sorcerer, Supreme, Samurai. Shit, that's a lot of goddamn S's in dog names. Shit irritates me. We can actually get that moment when Wolverine was part of the Howling Commandos for a brief moment in time on a special mission with Cap.
Yep.
Like, you can easily do like one shots and we're cool with that. Hire somebody to play Cap. He literally stays in suit the whole fucking time.
That does sound like a dope series.
I would watch it. We all would watch it. Shit, if you want to get fancy,
who would you get to? You would run the risk of, but continuity don't matter. Screw it, go for it, go for broke.
First of all, it's Disney. You can do what the fuck you want.
Yeah,
Disney,
right.
God damn it.
Yeah,
we
big
Disney,
time.
God damn it.
Doing it for the 9-9 to the forever.
That's doing it for Earth 9-9 to infinity. That's what you're doing it for. To be honest with you.
Cue Hot Boy music.
I don't know.
Do it.
But with that being said, like, they did open the floodgates in regards to what goes next after Spider-Man. I think my biggest issue with what goes next after Spider-Man is the fact that Marvel is leaving us in the dark about what we're really getting. Like, the story was too wide open. It was a nice bridge from where we came from to now where we're going. So you really can't say Spider-Man Far From Home is part of the end of Phase 3 or the beginning of Phase 4. It literally is just a movie that's out there, in my honest opinion.
I forgot they announced Thor. I'm tripping.
They announced Thor 4, but let's be honest, bruh. We don't know what the hell it's about, and I doubt it has anything to do with Earth.
Man, it's just going to be him and Valkyrie going around flirting and her finger banging Captain Marvel. I don't know.
Well, damn, that escalated quickly.
Look,
is it not true? Her and Valkyrie have a thing.
Not yet.
Give it time. We gotta let it.
In the comics,
let it simmer.
She also slept with Rhodey, so who knows?
That's true.
She's pansexual, my guy. Pan.
That is true.
She'll sleep
with
anybody.
She like black people.
Yeah.
We know who doesn't.
Does.
Cap.
The fact that that's an ongoing story, dog, that people will not let go is the funniest thing in the world.
We got to think about how much he could have done, man, for the world, Craig.
I'm done with y'all.
My mic.
Is that my mic? Boop, boop, boop.
Hello, we good?
Testing. Roger Dodger, I just want to let you guys know. Is that my mic doing that?
No, that was me, bruh.
Oh.
My baby knocked over my mic, and next thing you know it, she's like, "Bro, wrap this up, B."
She shut down.
What do you want to watch?
Hey, bro, you got your kids on She-Ra? My daughter is hooked on She-Ra.
I finished it already.
My daughter is so hooked, bro. That's all she do is talk about For the Honor of Grey Skull. I'm like, all right. It's like, you do your thing. You fight them. You fight the Horde.
You want to watch Ratatouille?
Ratatouille is fire.
Want to watch Tangled?
That's another fire one.
Put it on Tango, and then Daddy will come find the right movie for you.
Yup. So what's your favorite movie on Netflix right now?
Man, what do you want to watch?
Who, me?
Yep. Might as well keep it going. He's sitting there doing his dad thing.
Man, let me tell you, I haven't had Netflix in years. I had Cody. Well, I have Cody, and then I recently found out that
Allegedly.
Not Cody. No, you need to get Showbox. Quit playing around.
Allegedly.
No, but I recently found out my husband has Hulu, and he's been holding out on me, so I made him put it on my PlayStation. I've just been watching all kind of Hulu because all he was using it for was to watch wrestling, and I'm like, there's so much more to this.
I didn't even know wrestling was on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yep. Every show that comes on TV shows up on Hulu. They got NXT, Raw, and SmackDown.
Well, goddamn.
But with that being said, we're going to actually end the recording part, and we'll talk to you people later as we continue our conversation.
Bye, guys.